If we posted a video entitled "The Writing Advice Which Changed My Life," would it be Save the Cat or something else?
For sure, if I had to pick one, most influential theorist on my career, by a long shot, it was Blake Snyder. Him personally and his system. Because I read the book, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I took his class and I was like, he's amazing. It just was so robust and actionable and easy and accessible and didn't take himself seriously and just helpful. And it was like, oh yeah, this was how I was trying to serve my audience. And he's got so many good ideas on how to serve them better than I was. Taking what I already did that was great and then making it more or sort of allowing me to be more articulate in the way that I was serving them. And then a couple of years after that, I took his seminar. I had won this contest, and part of winning that contest with this one screenplay that I wrote with this other writer, and he hadn't taken Blake's seminar class. So we're like, oh, and I did it once, but I was like, I will do it again. And that was actually after Blake had died, unfortunately. So I was curious about how somebody else would teach his class, and my writing partner hadn't taken his seminar at all, but we were both using that system. We were fans. So we went back and did it with another instructor who was also wonderful. I mean, it wasn't Blake, but he was wonderful. Interestingly, the story that we broke that weekend, we actually sold and set it up.
How long did it take you to write it?
Well, we broke, his weekend seminar is you go in start with a log line and you end with your 15 beats at the end. So we broke the sort of the structure of it then, and then we probably did, I don't know, I'm sure a month or two of sort of breaking it out, and then my guess is we probably had, and then lots of drafts. It was probably after that weekend, probably 3 months. After that, we probably had a draft. We had a producer attached to that already, and we were going to make that one ourselves, direct it ourselves. But the producer was like, "Dude, this is really good. I think I can get this set up someplace else." And we said, "Great." So then we ended up, and that's the script that got me signed to UTA. And then we started taking around, ended up getting set up, and that was great.
How did you meet that producer?
I went to NYU with him.
Oh, nice. Okay, so alumni pays off, yeah.
It did in this case. It did in this case. I mean, I have some strong mixed feelings about NYU. I generally, experientially, I loved it. It was, some of my favorite times. I have lots of favorite times in my life, but I really enjoyed it. The cost of those programs generally doesn't sort of pay out. The return on that investment, to me, feels out of whack. So there's that, and people that are doing undergrad, probably you can justify a little bit more, but those MFA programs are really expensive. And people, if they have the money, awesome, it's great. But if they're taking out those loans for those programs, that's a heartbreaker because, no matter how good you are, that's just a big burden. So the logistics of that is I think, really problematic. But I like the film school experience, and partly a lot of people talk about the people that you meet there, right? So if nothing else, because it's, NYU is seen as, some people consider it the best film school, certainly one of the best, people are then attracted to it for those reasons. I want to go where the best is, right? So I met really great people there, and so that made a big impact. And this was one producer that I did. But the truth is, if I were to go back, I wouldn't go to film school. If I was rich, I wouldn't, it would be fine, but I wouldn't, because I would have maybe hung out at Sundance and been a volunteer there and met those same damn people that way. Or, there's lots of different ways to meet people, which is important. And that's, people say, well, film school, you can meet people. Great, but like, you're meeting the people and you're paying an arm and a leg for it. So there's other ways to meet people that are at that ambition level that you might be attracted to if you want to do really sort of world-class work, which you'll get at USC, NYU, AFI, those places. But there's other places to meet those same people. And when you show up with your power or your superpower, who you are, you find people, you find the right people, and the people that aren't your type, you just, get filtered out.
Yeah, and the thing for Gen Xers like you and I is that social media wasn't around, crowdfunding wasn't around, and it's so valuable now because you can meet so many people let's suppose you have a successful campaign. Now you need an editor. You can find somebody in another country, and they can, but those options weren't available at that time.
A totally different world. So, I mean, your YouTube channel is one wonderful way of them, democratizing it. I mean, the information you guys have, one person after another with these really great ideas, just makes it so much more accessible for all sorts of people, and makes it, justifying the cost for those really expensive, film programs, especially the MFA programs. Just, again, if you got the money, it's awesome. It's a great one-stop shop.
And you can have forge some great memories that you're not going to get other places. So, in terms of making a film together and watching it together. So.